Whenever I've been asked about a wall, I have always tried to talk about it from not either from not what a particular candidate said, because other people have talked about walls and fences also. But anyone who's familiar with the southwest border and looks at the range of mountains, rivers, desert, would clearly see that an attempt to build a wall would be very, very difficult, incredibly expensive. We have 600 miles of fencing of different types now. It is very expensive to maintain that fencing. So there's a lot of building to do, and we're very intent on meeting a goal of being up to at least 400 personnel. But it will take us a little while to get there. I think certainly within 2 to 3 years, the staffing level and the support will be there. One is that you have to have the appropriations from Congress, and you have to be able to convince the Office of Management and Budget, Department of Homeland Security headquarters, and Congress that you need this number of people and bring them on board. When you look at 60,000 employees and you look at an organization that has border security, certainly the vulnerability for corruption and the potential for corruption is there. But it isn't that we still don't have resources like the Inspector General's office, certainly the FBI's border corruption task forces, and others. So we're not in this game alone. Well, I think the excessive use of force complaints are being adequately addressed right now. We have a method for recording the complaints. We have a method for making sure they're being followed up. And our most recent examples from the Office of Professional Responsibility shows that they have reduced the average length of investigation from what was up to a year down to about 60 days. I would say that you're going to have to find a camera that will hold up longer than 90 days. I think that we'll receive some support from manufacturers and others, given the size of that workforce, that would be very interested in developing a camera. But the things that we've tested most recently, given the terrain and where these agents work, has not held up. Yeah, I would say that's true. I'm very familiar with the law enforcement and intergovernmental relations between San Diego and Tijuana, both San Diego County law enforcement, City of San Diego, et cetera. That doesn't exist to this extent everywhere else along the border. I think people have worked very hard on both sides of the border to improve and to have those relationships, and I'm sure some other parts of the border could see some lessons learned. Well, the businesses exchange a lot of information, and the chambers of commerce. So it's at a lot of different intergovernmental layers. San Diego County is a bit unique also because of SANDAG. Where you have this incredible amount of collaboration involving the municipalities, the county government, all working together. But as I said, I think it exists not just at the governmental relations, but also at the business relations. We know it's important that we do everything we can to keep currency and guns from going south. The better they do inspections of again, vehicular and pedestrian traffic going south, I think that just shows that we're working well together. Well, we've helped a lot. When I was the president's drug policy advisor, my relationship with CONADIC, which is the drug rehabilitation program in Mexico, was very robust. We work closely with their health department. They have, just like every country, they have their own issues of abuse, misuse, and addiction when it comes to drugs. And so we would regularly exchange best practices. When President Calderon was there, I visited a number of facilities with his wife, Margarita Zavala, who had made drug rehabilitation and drug treatment her kind of passionate and signature issue. So I know they work very hard at this also, and if we can help and we can exchange additional information, and I think through the Department of State you see that we actually do, we should be a partner in that also.
What kind of information?
What are the newest treatment methodologies? Are there things that are working that treatment professionals in Mexico could have? So they have a world-renowned psychiatrist in Dr. Medina Mora, who has worked and is well known on these issues. So they have a very robust and a very qualified group of people. But we all learn from each other, and we should all be supportive of each other in trying to keep people into drug treatment. The fact that they have done a significant improvement in the security with their border with Guatemala, all of those things are very positive. But if you look at our apprehensions, they're still very high from the 3 Central American countries that all of us are familiar with in Honduras, Guatemala, and El Salvador. And improving safety, security, the economy, educational levels in those countries would be absolutely as important as any additional border security, because people would not be that interested in leaving their families to make a dangerous trek to the United States. But remember, Mexico's economy, and you probably know this, has seen some pretty significant improvements. There's improvements in jobs, improvements in a middle class structure, etc. So if the border with the United States is in fact more secure, and it clearly is by every measure, then people will be staying in greater numbers in Mexico. So we're kind of in this together.